WWE Monday Night Raw on Netflix debut episode results January 6th, 2025. This show was exactly what you thought it was up until this one moment. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what that one moment is. Now, look, this show, you knew what you were going to get going into it. You also got a lot that you didn't know what you were going to get into it, and I think there's no other thing to talk about other than the opening segment and going on through the show, because it was banger after banger. It was big moment after big moment with big names and big matches and everything alike. And that leads us to the opening segment. It was Triple H. He cut a promo welcoming us to Monday Night Raw on Netflix before we getting to The Rock. The Rock with his championship belt, he kicked everything off. He did a full babyface promo. He acknowledged Cody Rhodes. He acknowledged Roman Reigns and Netflix. And he said he would be watching Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa very closely. He then hugged Cody Rhodes, our undisputed WWE champion, who was sitting like a fan in the crowd. I wasn't a huge fan of that, but hey, whatever. So now we know Rock is a babyface again, okay? And B, he is not wrestling at WrestleMania 41 as of right now. That is as of right now. Of course, anything and everything can change. Reportedly, they are going towards a Cody Rhodes versus John Cena route instead of a Rock versus Cody Rhodes route at WrestleMania. And I don't necessarily like the fact that he's already a babyface without even turning babyface. He just showed up as a babyface. It was no big deal. It was as if bad blood back in October when he showed up and he had a disgust look on his face with Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes that acted like nothing happened. And him hugging Cody Rhodes afterwards, nothing. What are we doing? Why is this happening? It just, storyline wise, character wise, gimmick wise, it just makes no sense whatsoever. It almost feels like a wasted opportunity. But The Rock will be on NXT TV on Tuesday night, New Year's Eve. His daughter, Ava, she is the general manager of NXT. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm hopeful that we will get a Rock versus Roman Reigns match just so we won't have that what if question, that what if scenario for the rest of our lives. But it's not looking very likely, unfortunately. Tribal combat match. Roman Reigns finally went over Solo Sikoa. But of course, you knew there was going to be outside interference. Now, look, these people, they showed up in droves. We had Jacob Fatu. We had Tama Tonga. We had Kevin Owens. They all tried to help Solo Sikoa. They all hit their finishers on Roman Reigns. Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, Jimmy Uso. They all came out to even the odds for our tribal chief. In the end, after steel chairs and a power bomb from Roman to Solo through a table, kendo sticks, steel steps, and alike, well, Roman Reigns went over with 2 spears. Now, after the match, things got a little interesting. The Rock came out and draped the Ula Fala over Roman Reigns. They hugged, they celebrated. Rock did an Instagram live afterwards and then announced he was going to be on NXT. So I'm grateful, I'm hopeful that Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa has ended. It is finally put to rest. No more, no less. This is it. This is the final chapter. This is the end of the saga of this storyline. Get Roman as far away as possible from Solo Sikoa. But I got a weird feeling that we're not done yet. But I could be wrong. Now, they did confirm that Roman will be on the January 27th episode of Monday Night Raw. He walked into a door that had a logo of WWE 2K25. So obviously people are speculating, well, he'll be on the cover of that game and he will make the announcement that he's on the cover on January 27th. And we'll probably when the release date is known and everything like that. So the fact is Roman Reigns went over Solo Sikoa and Tribal Chief. Combat Club. Tribal combat match. It's late. Up next, John Cena. He came out. He did his retirement tour kickoff speech. He thanked LA for all of the memories, talking about how He understands that the fans want to see him go on one more run. They want to see him become a world champion yet again, breaking the world record and going on and being a champion one more time before he hangs up his jorts. But he said he's on a losing streak. He doesn't like to say never in this industry, so he won't. But he said he would need a miracle. And then he started getting fired up. Then he got a passion. He went from a depressed, middle-aged man to a young buck right then and there in the front of our eyes. He said, I could win the Elimination Chamber, or I could win the Royal Rumble. And so therefore, not only did John Cena, who hasn't won a PLE match, a singles PLE match in years, not only is he going to the Royal Rumble, not only is he declaring for the Royal Rumble, but he is going to win it. And he vowed, he promised, he guaranteed almost that he would win the Royal Rumble. Now, I'm just following along on Twitter. So we have John Cena, he's declared for the Royal Rumble, and now CM Punk. He cut a promo talking about him and Gunther, him and Cody. He's coming for everybody. So there is that. So CM Punk, John Cena, they're going to get to mix it up potentially in the Royal Rumble. You love to see it. Look, I think this was exactly what it should have been. I didn't think you needed to necessarily put Cena in a feud right away. We don't know John Cena's full schedule. He did mention that he's going to work Mania. We know he's going to work the Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber. He said his retirement match is in December. So I would assume that's a Saturday Night's Main Event. I don't know, but we don't have a schedule yet for John Cena. Liv Morgan finally dropped the Women's World Championship to Rhea Ripley. Yes, finally. There was outside interference from Raquel Rodriguez. There was outside interference from Dirty Dominant Mysterio. At one point, Dirty Dom got on the apron and distracted the referee with the belt, and then Raquel Rodriguez tried to get in, and Rhea knocked her off the apron, leading to Liv hitting her finisher to Rhea and getting a near fall. But in the end, it was Rhea going over Morgan. And I think, as someone who's been a huge advocate of this feud, I think their best match, I would say so. But it was Rhea going over, reclaiming a championship in which she never lost. And then she hit Dirty Dom with the Riptide after kicking him in the nuts once he tried to reconcile with her after the bout. The Undertaker came out on a motorcycle. He drove around the ring like a boss. And then they posed together. So that was cool. Jey Uso is up next. Jey Uso went over Drew McIntyre in a singles match. I was stunned. Now, I did a video on Monday morning talking about how I thought Jey Uso should have went over Drew McIntyre to keep him strong, because you don't want to keep beating him like a drum, even though they're trying to build up Drew. So I'm very, very happy to see that Jey won. I'm very glad to see that WWE went with him. They kept this man strong. They kept him strong the way that he should have. Jey Uso, main event, Jey Uso going over Drew McIntyre. Oh yeah, by the way, Hulk Hogan got booed out of the building just for promoting his Real American Beer. Main event, this was a wonky match. CM Punk went over Seth Rollins, and it was a situation in which they had to put this match on last. They didn't have a choice in that regard, because this was going to be the best match of the night, in my opinion, going into it. You kind of knew that. Two workhorses, two bangers. I think they were holding a lot back. I also think this show was barely over 3 hours. And so I think that they knew, okay, we're going to do a rematch. Let's save our stuff for then. We don't have much time either. So they couldn't really stretch it out. It was a very, very good match. It was the best match of the night, but they didn't have a choice in A, putting it in the main event, and B, holding back, because you know a rematch is absolutely coming.